Poetic Justice was an iconic movie that went straight to #1 at the box office. Tupac Shakur played Lucky, an ambitious single father who falls in love during a road trip, winning the affections of Justice, played by Janet Jackson.
Girl, you know he tripping cause he like you.
The movie was in stark contrast to Juice, showing Tupac's versatility as an actor. He made no secret of being thrilled to work with Janet Jackson and was especially looking forward to their on-screen kiss.
You know you got the role every man in America wants.
Right.
Did you get to kiss her?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Is she a good kisser?
Oh, yes. 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 I was like, God, do it again. One more time, John, please. Y'all don't even gotta pay me. Do it again.
But one bit of controversy surrounding the movie was tension between the two actors and the rumour that Janet asked Tupac to take an AIDS test before any love scenes. According to the I Get Around rapper, people from Janet's team requested he take an AIDS test multiple times during filming. Tupac recalled the first time they came into his trailer and asked him to take the test. He said production was going well and everything was fine on set, until he was approached by a member of the film crew and they asked him to take an AIDS test before participating in a love scene with Janet. I don't know if it was Janet that it came from, but suddenly, out of the blue, they wanted me to take an AIDS test. Fans interpreted the story as there being friction between Janet and Park, and it gave the impression that Janet was a little stuck up. Many assumed that they didn't get along on set as a result of the request, and of course, the whole thing seemed bizarre as they were acting, not actually doing anything that could cause them to contract HIV. Tupac said the two of them actually got along and even agreed to stay in touch after filming. She gave him her number and he assumed he had made a friend for life. However, when he called the number, it was out of service. She had changed her number.
It wasn't, I don't know if it was Janet that it came from, but I know that they suddenly, out of the blue, they wanted me to take an AIDS test for this love scene. And I did not agree, I did not disagree if we were really gonna make love. I said, if I could make love with Janet Jackson, I'll take 4 AIDS tests. But if I'm gonna do a love scene with her, just like somebody else did, and they didn't take a test, I'm not taking a test. Not only am I not taking the test, but get out of my trailer. You know, I was like, and they sent like 4 different people to ask me, like somebody else asked me. First they sent the producer, then they sent the black dude, then they sent John, then they sent a girl. You know, it don't matter who you send, I'm not taking one. It's just, to me, it was just like an insult, you know, just to ask me that.
Another thing that was written in this article was that, you know, you got on very well while you were making the movie, but then afterwards she changed her number. Is that true?
Yeah, it bothered me. I mean, I probably wasn't intentional. Everybody changed their number, but I mean, it was so, I really thought I made a friend. I thought it was, I know Janet Jackson for life, you know? So the movie was always like, boo, this number has been changed. And it was like a movie. I mean, it was like the day after the movie wrapped. I did like...
Director John Singleton, who sadly passed away in 2019, said the whole thing was a stunt to drum up publicity for the film. In an interview with Vibe, he said he came up with the idea and asked Tupac to take the test as a publicity stunt. That was a publicity stunt we came up with. Me, Janet, Tupac, Regina King, and Joe Torre were sitting on the set. Everyone is trying to impress Janet anyway. I was like, man, I don't know about this love scene. You've been hitting all this ish. I don't know if I want you touching my actress, he said. John Singleton confirmed that Tupac was approached about the test multiple times, and he repeatedly denied their request and was in fact insulted by it. Tupac's co-star, Joe Torre, told Vibe that after so many requests from the film crew and enduring jokes about it, Tupac lost his cool a few times. Even Maya Angelou had to take him aside and have a quiet word with him. She told him how valuable his life was and the sacrifices that others had made to ensure that he was free to stand there. He went away in tears after their conversation.
Years ago, I did a movie called Poetic Justice. And there was a young man the first day who cursed so I couldn't believe it. I walked around behind him and I tried to ignore him. But the second day, he and another young man, black man, ran to each other and they were about to fight and hundreds of extras started to run away. But one black man walked up to the two young men, and I walked up, and I took one by his shoulder. I said, "Let me speak to you." He said, "If these you do, would do." I said, "Let me speak to you, honey. If I tell you something, I said, "No, let me talk to you, please." And he finally calmed down. And I said, "Do you know how much you're needed? Do you know what you mean to us? Do you know that hundreds of years of struggle have been for you? You, please, baby, take a minute. Don't lose your life on a Zoom." I put my arm around him. He started to weep. The tears came down. That was Tupac Shakur. I took him, I walked him down into a little gully and kept his back to the people so they wouldn't see him. And I used my hands to dry his cheeks. And I kept talking to him sweetly. For the next week, while I was on that film, whenever I'd walk by, he would be saying, "So I told it." He said, "Good morning, Miss Angela."
John knew that Tupac wouldn't respond well and used the whole thing for publicity. "You do ish like that, and you know everyone is going to be talking about our movie," he said. Whenever you see old interviews about the movie, the first thing the actors are asked is about the AIDS test and whether or not Tupac and Janet got along on set. It was certainly the main talking point leading up to the movie's release, and it certainly worked, as the movie opened at number 1 in its first week. Although Janet changed her number, she speaks highly of working with Tupac till this day. On Real 923 LA, Janet said, "Pac was crazy, and I adored him. He was one way, I think the way people see him. Not to say that he wasn't him, but it was also another side to him, where he was fun and silly, and he used to call me Square all the time. He'll say, 'What's up, Square?' Janet said she would sit back and observe, but he was more sociable on set. She was also on time, but he would be late occasionally. So he would joke about how serious she was. She joked about how they'd be waiting on set for him, and he would still be in the hotel. There were times when he was late for set. We were waiting patiently. He's back at his hotel, telling us the longer you knock, the longer I'm gonna sit in this bed." When asked if he was a diva, Janet said, "For me, he wasn't a diva. Just so much talent, so brilliant, so smart." She said Pac was very special and talented, and definitely an icon.
Janet was a true professional.
Right.
Every day.
What about Pac?
Pac was, he started out a true professional. and then Pac went crazy on us, man.
What happened?
But people got to understand that Tupac was 20 at the time, and he turned 21. So during that movie, man, he was transforming.
Apparently, Tupac got his Thug Life tattoo while filming Poetic Justice. He got it done over the weekend and showed it to Janet. Joe Torre said that she was the most professional person on set. She was there on time and the last to leave. But Tupac was messing around with extras, turning up late and smoking weed. He claimed that producers did ask Tupac to get a test, just to make sure everything checked out, before he worked with Janet, to make sure that she didn't get sick. Because if she got sick, nobody got paid, he said. Back then, HIV and AIDS had just come on the scene, so there wasn't a whole lot of knowledge about it. There wasn't even a differentiation between AIDS and HIV. And there was definitely a lot of misinformation about how it was transmitted. So it seemed like the two of them did get along well. Like Pac said, people do change their numbers. His account of the whole thing was very funny, and the crew probably had a lot of fun on set, even if Pac clashed with some of them occasionally. In regards to changing her number, Janet said that she probably would have had to change it if a fan had got hold of the number. But anyone in the business knows how to contact someone, so she said that if Pac wanted to contact her, he would have been able to. What is your favourite Tupac movie? Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts below. Like and subscribe for weekly videos. And don't forget to click the bell for more.